Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Thank you for watching. I'm Wood, and in this series we're comparing two accounts that we started on the same day at the same time, played the same way by a lovable knucklehead, with one major difference. One of the accounts will be played with a monthly spending budget, the other is free to play. Let's take a look at our progress. Alright, so on the free-to-play series here, and versus budget series, we've got the free-to-play open. You can see the green border around. Every time I show the free-to-play account, we'll have a green border around it, just for some clarity. When I switch back and forth quickly and everything, if you look up at your screen, you'll be able to tell which account I'm on when I flip back and forth, because I don't always say it when I do that. So just for clarity, the green border is around this box, and then you'll have no green border around the budget account box. And you know, hopefully that makes sense, and we'll be able to keep things straight that way. So we're on day 6. So I'll catch you up on what we did on day 5, and we're starting day 6 today. And I'll catch you up also on what we did on day 4. The Adeline chase we've almost got our Adeline. We're on day 6 here. We'll collect our 25 gems. We'll get our Adeline tomorrow in 24 hours. So we'll go in here and get our daily login. Oh, I think this one's going to be energy. I probably should have waited. I should have waited to pick that up. So if you're already logged in, when the day flips over and your daily login rewards show up, if you're already logged in and you don't go into the daily login rewards, you don't have to pick up that energy. So we'll have to, hopefully we'll get started on something that will make that efficient. And this is, I open up the referral just to get rid of the red dot. And I do that every day on every account I've ever made. And it's just kind of, okay, so we don't really have anything to, although, okay, so sometimes the uncommons can be a good value if they're down at the 39,000. See how this uncommon is at 39,000, this one's at 49, sometimes they're at 44. And so sometimes if I'm needing food, and on these two accounts I do, I'll pick up the uncommon for 39,000. It's a small silver savings, but you know, I sometimes do that. And it completes that quest to purchase something from the market. So I got that quest finished, and I'll claim this a little bit later because this gives you a 24-hour limit on when you can use these coins for your classic arena battles, and so I'll pick that up a little bit later. So yeah, some interesting progress yesterday, and something I need to tell you about. Okay, let's go into the budget account. We'll collect. Oh, and I gotta check this boot here. We're gonna collect this boot for day 6, and then tomorrow, obviously, we're gonna get Adeline on this account also. And I just am so curious as to what that boot might be. I'm hoping it's speed. Fingers crossed that it is speed for us. Let's see. A little lag today. Oh, flat attack with not even a speed substat on it. Now, I may keep this just because I don't have a lot of artifacts in my inventory, and if I pick up a chaos ore, you know, you never know, maybe I'll be able to roll speed on that main stat. So chaos ore is a really nice resource to use, and you have to use it wisely. Only use it on artifacts that make sense to use it on. But perception early game, it's great gear, and if you have a legendary piece like this, and if you have inventory space, I think it makes sense to hold on to it just to see if you can get speed. Most of the time I wouldn't roll speed boots, especially on boots at all, especially on my main account. But on this account where it's early game, I might do it. I'll think about it. I'll talk to some people and see if that's an efficient idea or not. If I get fortunate enough to get some speed boots at the beginning, it may not become an issue, but the speed boots are so important, especially a legendary like this would be really nice, and if it ran good substats, that would be great too. Most of the time I use chaos ore on my main account. Let's go into my main account here, and I'll show you one that I did actually use my chaos ore on, and it worked out. At least I think I did that on Chaos Ore. Let's look. Prove me wrong. This piece here, yeah, see, you got a quad speed roll on that. Really, really rare thing to have happen. It's not the best anymore now that we have mythical artifacts that you can actually run a quintuple, which is really nice. But let me see if I've run this one before. Oh, yeah, I did. I got this on a rework attempt. So Chaos Ore can really work out for you sometimes. I've started to run perception gear more often. I got some good advice about where to use Chaos Ore, and you can see I used that rework attempt. I got a quad on a perception piece. It wasn't on speed, and I think if I remember right, this had speed on one of the other substats, and I rolled it, and it rolled a quad, and I was like, I've got to use a Chaos Ore on that chance it might get speed, and in this case it did. It's, obviously it's a small chance, but every chance you have in this game is worthwhile. So I say all that to say that on this piece right here, on this perception piece, I will probably keep it just to see what happens. And then, if I have some good speed boots and it's not an issue on this account, then I'll just go ahead and sell it. But while I have inventory space, and I'm not keeping very many artifacts anyway, because you don't get very many pieces of good gear early game, I'll hold on to it. So, progress we made. Oh no, I can't show you this. Don't get out. Don't look. If you've been following along, which I know not very many people have so far, but if you've been following along, you'll know that I pulled some shards the day before this Path of Light event started. I missed out on some points. I pulled shards again the next day while the Path of Light was going on. And then last night, so it would have been day 5, I thought we had these 2 4-star chickens sitting here. And I thought, well, I probably really need to get those 2 4-star chickens. 4-star chickens are really important beginning, because I'm trying to get my Ethel leveled up to a 6-star. And I've tried to play these 2 accounts. I haven't tried to grind so hard, that I lose sleep or miss out on, other things that I'm doing, work and other things with family. If you're a person with a life, you're busy, you have a budget to spend on the game, see where it gets you. And then if you spent the same amount of time on a free-to-play, see where that would get you also. So what I wanted to prove with this series was to be able to show the difference between a spender account and a free-to-play account. And to let you decide for yourself. Is it really worth it? Can I have just as much fun free to play? Or does a budget amount of money get me kind of the level of gameplay that I want to achieve while I'm playing this game? And I don't have a dog in this fight at all. I respect guys who spend money on the game. People spend money on all kinds of things for entertainment purposes. The one thing I would advise is obviously always play on a budget, because otherwise it can get out of hand pretty fast. But if you have the money to do so, and this is what you do for entertainment, I mean, think of how much money some people spend on golf and other things. I mean, so if this is what you do for entertainment, I don't have a problem with that at all. But I want people to know the difference between, hey, what would it have been like if I hadn't spent that money? Would I have experienced anything really significantly different? Would it even be measurable? And so that's what I want to show today. And I had some shard pulls yesterday so that I could get those 2 4-star chickens on this account and on the free-to-play account. Now on the budget account, for some reason, I was able to get through and acquire, I think I had 7 ancient shards. On the free-to-play, I only had 2, and that was just because of luck. It wasn't because of any spending. It was just RNG. Dungeons gave me a few ancient shards. Some of the missions and challenges gave me a few ancient shards. And so, that kind of helped out a lot. But so I only had 2 on the free to play. I later got another one, and so I'll show you that also. But I opened some shards last night just to get those chickens in this event, in this Path of Light event. So I will roll that video now. Okay, so I wanted to just show you here. I pulled shards last night, and I promised on this account I wouldn't open any shards other than mystery shards without taking a video of it. And so I recorded it, and I didn't think anything interesting was going to happen, but fortunately something interesting did happen, and I'm happy about it. So I go through, this is the free-to-play account. I show you that I have the progressive chance for Miscreated Monster and Helicath, and on the first shard opening I got a marked, and so that's a marked on both the free-to-play and on the budget account, and she's part of the Rosin Fusion. Second shard was an epic, and it's a Stag Knight. He is so great. I was so excited when I opened this shard. Stag Knight is going to be huge for the free-to-play account. He's such a great champion. Bannerlord's faction, epic. He's technically referred to as a support. He's a debuffer. Hits pretty hard. Has a decreased speed, big version on his A1 on a pretty good chance to land, which is a really good skill. Got decreased defense and decreased attack, big version on a 3-turn cooldown on his A2, and that's really all he has. It's a really simple kit, just really good. And then he's got a strange increased accuracy he gives to his allies, but just it's going to be huge for the progression of the free-to-play account. It's just going to be really big to have a Stag Knight. And so really excited. I only had 2 shards on that account. On this one, I have 7, but I think I'm going to only pull 6 here because that was the number of shards I needed to pull for the event. So same progressive chance for Helicath and Miscreated Monster. First one is an epic. Right out of the box, Zargala. And she's just really good debuffer also. Probably not as strong as Stag Knight, but she does have decreased defense and weaken as part of her kit. Not on the same skill, but as part of her kit. So she can be good. She can hit hard. And then the second one, I got a Stout Axeman, a dwarf. I love dwarves, and they love me. And the third shard I opened, I got an Ethel, which is weird because it's the repeat of the starter champion I picked. Really can't do anything with that other than she could be a good chicken. Also got a maiden. Also, I could put Ethel into the Faction Guardians when that opens for me. So that can be useful there too. So yeah, this maiden, I was looking at her kit because it's one I've just never really looked at before. She's got a freeze on the A1, and she's got some destroy max HP and a decreased defense on her A3 if she lands a critical hit. So she's kind of interesting, but single target and really no reason to build a maiden. But she's cute. And then I got an Elder. Which Elder is the reward that you get for winning or not winning, but for getting the top reward in your novice tournament when you start the game. So I went into the Path of Light to see how many points I needed, realized I needed to open one more shard, open one more to get points, and it's another dwarf, an honor guard. So I love the dwarves, and they love me, as I have mentioned in the past. Anyway, so just wanted you to see and I go back in here to show you the Zargala and highlight her kit a little bit. Zargala is an iconic figure in the game. She's the counterpart to Galek, and in all their advertising and everything, a lot of times they feature Zargala, and it's really good advertising. They do a really nice job marketing the game. So Zargala is really good. I'm not sure I will build her, but she does have a pretty decent kit, and she hits decently hard as well. So just wanted to make sure and show you the shard pulls and show you how excited I was to get a Stag Knight. Stag Knight is such an important champion, especially if you get him early game. On my main account, I didn't get him. I think it was over a year I was playing before I got a Stag Knight, and everybody talked about how great Stag Knight was over and over again. And I thought I was just bitter, angry because I couldn't get a Stag Knight. But I have one now on the free-to-play. On day 5, I got a Stag Knight, and it's so great. Okay, so what does Stag Knight do? On his A1, he attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. It's a great A1. It books up to a 50% chance. So 50-50 on his A1, which is really good. So if you've got an ally attacker on your team or something like that, and you can get lots of those hits in, it's so nice to be able to get that decreased speed. And it's a big version. And he hits really pretty hard. He's not, I wouldn't consider him a nuker. I mean, I think you could build him that way, but you wouldn't do that because his A2, on a 3-turn cooldown, his A2 has a decreased defense and a decreased attack, both the big version of decreased defense and decreased attack. And it books up to a 95% chance. I've never seen anyone build Stag Knight without using the Sniper Mastery. And if you need to know what that is, go in here on Masteries, and you get this Mastery. You have to build this whole Mastery tree. It's a big deal, but this Mastery increases the chances of placing any debuff from skills or artifacts by 5%. So it doesn't include there's a whole bunch of caveats there that it doesn't include, but speed is not one of those. Speed works on this one, and the only thing that can happen is that he could weak hit. So if you're playing him on teams where he's always either strong or neutral affinity, then he'll always place that. If you're doing it on weak affinity, then it's kind of a dice roll, because if he weak hits, it won't place either of those debuffs. And then he has a passive that's kind of an interesting passive. His kit's super simple. He has an interesting passive here where he places a 50% increased accuracy buff on an ally for 1 turn each time the ally has a debuff resisted by an enemy. So if they get a 3% resist, even if your champion has plenty of energy and they get a 3% resist or something like that, this just places the accuracy on them. And I don't think this has a cooldown on it, so any of your allies that miss something, they'll get increased accuracy for 1 turn. So their next turn, maybe if they try and play something else, because they won't have that same skill again, I guess. But it's an interesting passive. I've never seen it really, you don't really focus on that when you're building Stag Knight. But Stag Knight is huge for early game. And, and the fact that he is Spirit Affinity helps so much, because your starter, where I have a starter as a Thel, she's Magic Affinity. It helps a lot to diversify some of your affinity. So it kind of makes up for some of your weaknesses on certain things, especially early game. You're not building, a whole, teams dealing with affinity yet. And so it's really nice. So now War Maiden, does she take a back seat? Probably. She probably takes a back seat right now because Stag Knight is so big for Fire Knight, especially for Fire Knight, and even in Spider, early game he can be used to decrease the attack of the Spiderlings, to decrease the defense of the boss. It's just, it's such a great pull, and I know it was probably a mistake to pull those shards, but I don't regret it because I won. I got a Stag Knight. Who else did I get? Okay, so I also got a Grave Chill. Grave Chill is a really good poisoner if she has somebody else on the team who places poison sensitivity. She's got an A3 that places 2 big version of poisons if there's poison sensitivity already on the target. So she can be good if you've got somebody who does poison sensitivity. I do not yet on this account. I don't know if I'll keep or build Grave Chill Killer. It would have to be, you'd be wanting to build a pretty specific type of clan boss team for that to happen. And I also got a marked and yes, marked is in the Razin Fusion. And so now I have a marked on both teams though, which is some nice consistency there. I also got a, wait, I think I got Rocktooth before. Sorry, never mind. So on the budget account, let's look at what I got on the budget account. And I know you just saw it. And I actually was excited, maybe not as excited as I was about Stag Knight, but I was excited to get, come on, the female face of the game. Well, maybe not, but the one I love the most is Zargala. Zargala's she's a really good, solid epic champion. And I did get her pretty early on my main account. She is one that I have never built. It's just, she's never been a priority for me. And I kind of feel bad about that. I've gone up against early game, you go up against different champions in arena and stuff, and some of them just clean your clock. And so I every time I would face one of those Zargalas just hit super hard, I would think, man, I need to build my Zargala, but I didn't. And it's been okay. And so for that reason, I think, but she's Force Affinity, which would mix really well with my other Magic Affinity champions. I started out with 2, Athel and Taragi. So having a Force Affinity would be nice, because she is a debuffer and a really good one. She has Weaken on her A1, which is, a significant debuff, and it's not the most common debuff in the game. There's not that many debuffers that have Weaken and decreased defense in their skill kit. Now it's nicer if they're both on the same skill, but at least she has both of them, and so she could be used in Clan Boss, although Athel does place the Weaken on her A1 also. So the decreased defense is more important to have when you have a starter champion that's Athel. But Zargala hits really super hard. Like with this skill right here, she attacks one enemy. It's a pretty simple skill, but she instantly activates the Crack Armor skill if the target is killed by the attack. Okay, so if she kills somebody, let's say in arena or in a wave or in faction wars or anything like that, then immediately this skill will activate, and it attacks all enemies 3 times. After the first hit, has a 50% chance of placing 60% defense. So it's 75% chance of debuff for all enemies for 2 turns. So it's a good decreased defense debuff. And I like Zargala. Got a Maiden also. I think I've fed some of the others. So this will be a discussion about War Maiden. War Maiden being Force Affinity also, just like Zargala. So Zargala is a little bit more powerful, but War Maiden's decreased defense is more reliable than Zargala's is. And with Zargala, I don't really need the Weaken if I've got it on Athel, as long as Athel has enough accuracy. Now, when I was Zargala, I will build her with accuracy if I build her. And so then I can have a more dependable Weaken. And that's the deficiency of War Maiden. I mean, it's not a deficiency. She's a rare. She's great for a rare. But she doesn't have Weaken on her kit, and Zargala does. So maybe that's a decision I haven't really made quite yet. I'm trying to leave aside, like for example, you see with my War Maiden, I haven't upgraded her rank past 30 yet because I'm waiting to build all of my food champions, all my 5-star chickens that I need to build to be able to rank up my Athel. And so because of that, I'm waiting on War Maiden. I'm waiting on Taragi. I'm waiting on now Zargala, and so I'll be able to make that decision a little bit later. Now I won't be pulling any more shards until there's a 2 times weekend. That was just sort of a lark for me, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I have no regrets, no shame whatsoever. It was kind of fun. And that's kind of my play style. Every once in a while I have a feeling and I pull shards, and sometimes it works out for me and sometimes it doesn't. You're going to have some luck in this game, and I was just fortunate that on this account I was able, or on the free to play account, I was able to have a lot of luck, and on the budget I would consider that lucky also to be able to pull an epic that's a pretty good epic. So I love Zargala in the raid commercials, her relationship with Galek in the commercials, it's hilarious. And so just for that, you might want to build a Zargala. No, you don't do that. But so that was kind of fun, and I'm glad I pulled shards, and we'll see how it goes. So the other thing, I entered promo code on both accounts on day 4. I think it was day 4. Maybe it was day 5. It was day 5. It was 4. No, it was 5. On day 5, I entered a promo code called Floral Boost, FLORALBOOST 2GT. Okay, I'll put that up on above me on the screen there. I just entered that. I was going through some of the promo codes. Hellhades.com has promo codes listed, and it says all of them are still active. But I went through them one by one, and most of them have been inactivated or deactivated. Sorry. But the Floral Boost 2GT did work on both accounts, and there was some energy in there and some brews and some things like that. So that was nice. I got to get something going on my free to play here that will use up some of my energy. Haven't really done dungeons too much on. I've done dungeons enough just to get some of the quests and missions and challenges done. And quests, you have a daily quest. So I'm gonna do a couple of daily quests here, just to get some energy pushed out, and we'll see how my team does dragon on what was it, 7, 5? I don't know. I don't remember which stage it was. But yeah, my teams are doing okay for what level I have them at. My Athels are both getting stronger. I don't have them. It just building up the 5-star chickens that you have to build at the beginning of the game takes forever. For some people, it takes forever. I've heard some ridiculous, records on 6-starring your first champion, and I've never even come close. I think one of them was just over a day, and I don't even know how. I don't even know how you do that, but I'm playing both accounts the same way. If that person who did that had both of these accounts, they'd be way further ahead than me, but still testing in the same way. And so that's why I feel like this is a fair test, is because I'm the one making all the decisions, and I'm playing most of them pretty much the same way, doing all the challenges and missions as I can. One of the reasons I like doing the challenges and missions as early as possible is because as they come down, they got all this poison on them. Are we going to survive? Yeah, the health bars are full. The dragon is down to his he's dead. Good. Oh, and I rank up to level 34 on that run. Nice. And 2 weapons I probably won't keep. See, it's funny. It's always tempting. It's got speed and HP %. Ooh, but it's 3-star. And I'm not keeping anything less than 4-star right now, and 4-star probably won't last that long. So I know it might hurt to look at that, but okay, so getting back to the missions and challenges, the reason the thing I was gonna explain was the reason that I like to do as many of the missions and challenges as early as I can is because when you start your account, you have these dungeon missions that say win 25 lesser force potions from stage 5 or higher of the force keep, for example. And then you'll see the next one. I don't know if you can see so this one here that I'm highlighting, win 25 lesser void potions from the stage 5 or higher of the void keep. When you start the game, the potion keeps are all open for a week, for an entire week. Okay? But it tells you, it shows you on the countdown right here how many, you have 2 days and 36 minutes left on all 4 of these, and then it'll just be 1 per day is open, and there's a schedule on it. And the void one is only open once a week. It's open on, I call it Saturday, the game calls it Sunday. It's just, when the game transfers over, it's UTC time, and I don't even keep track of what the UTC time is. But for me, it's Saturday afternoon. For you, it might be different. So check your local listings. But the void keep's only open once a week, and the rest of these, they'll come up twice a week. And so they're on a schedule like that. So I like to get most of those missions out of the way, as many of them as I can, so that I can collect those potions, and then I'm not time gated by those missions, to be able to keep going, and it doesn't stifle my progress, is what I'm saying, I guess. So yeah, so here's this dungeon mission. I've got 23 out of 25 of those lesser force potions. So we'll go in here, and when you're when you're doing the weak affinity on the force keep, because it's weak because Athel is weak against force. Athel is magic affinity, and magic affinity is the blue one. You can see right here it shows Athel's affinity, blue, and it's weak against force affinity. You've got this spirit affinity and this war priest, and she's strong against force affinity. And then obviously War Maiden, being the same affinity, is neutral. But see, I've got 3 champions here, and these are kind of my main. Right now, they're kind of my main 3, although I do depend on War Maiden a lot. So, but these they're all weak against him. So I might be able to move up to a higher stage if I wasn't weak affinity. But this is what you deal with early game. So I'm going to go in on stage 6 of the force keep here on the budget account. Now, interestingly enough, just out because of some luck, I would say the free-to-play is still ahead of the budget account. I have roughly the same number of chickens that I've built on both, and I used so much silver on this one quest to level up a piece of gear to level 16, and you want to, you don't want to waste your silver. There is a strategy when dealing with some of those missions to level up a piece of 1-star gear. You can level one of those up to 16, and it's a lot cheaper, but it just feels like a waste to me. So I tried to pick a piece of gear that I thought I might be keeping, and it was a 5-star legendary piece that I think I'll probably be using for a while. It had good substats on it, and so I leveled that one up to 16, but it took so much silver. It took forever. There is a pity system kind of on the gear rolls, but you get pretty deep in, and it was expensive, and it kind of shut down my silver, and I had to keep going back and farming more because I couldn't sell enough gear. You sell all the gear that you can, and then that's it. You don't have any more options for getting a lot of silver early. So, and on that one I got a medium potion, so that doesn't help me with that quest. So you keep going, you keep running these as many times as you have to. And I know that's not efficient as far as building my Athel up to a level 60, but it is efficient as far as not being time gated out of those missions. And I do like to do those missions as soon as I can, because Arbiter, the reason that you're doing those missions is to get your Arbiter as soon as possible, and that's what I plan on doing. Let me know if you have a prediction about how long you think it'll take me to get Arbiter. Looking at the progress I've made so far, you might be able to make an educated guess. So if you want to put a comment in and tell me what your prediction is. I don't have any prizes to give or anything like that, but you will have my admiration, my undying admiration, if you're right. If you're wrong, I'll forgive that too. So anyway, just got one there. So yeah. So I have been torn about, just trying to level up Athel, but also get the missions done at the same time. And a lot of times those things are, they're at odds with each other, as far as trying to do both things at the same time. And so I'm just working it as much as I can. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you for watching. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to get things going here, and this is my first YouTube videos ever, and I really appreciate any support that you might be able to give me. A like would be awesome. Whatever you can do. So really appreciate it, and I hope you're having a great day. Take care.